All right, probably should write scripts, but we're just gonna go with the flow. Maybe I'll give the "I was abducted by aliens" excuse thing. I don't know. Yeah, the truth is better, I agree. All right, everyone, hello and welcome into the video that you have likely all been waiting for this year, where I attempt to explain my long unintended hiatus from content creation here on YouTube surrounding my discussions of the Minnesota Vikings with you, the fans of the Vikings and of myself. Do I have fans? I don't think I have fans. Maybe like one or two. Anyway, subscribers. Let's just go with that. I don't have fans. That's some narcissistic bullshit. Anyway, I digress on that point. Okay, so where have I been? What am I doing? Where's this going? And what can we look forward to in the future? So while I talk, you can enjoy the new backdrop that I have been working on. It's not quite done yet, but it has gotten to the point where I am satisfied enough to use it in a video as opposed to hanging up the player jerseys that has been my regular backdrop in videos in the past. All right, so I alluded a little bit last year and a little bit at the beginning of this year that I was possibly going to have to take a break due to some big life changes that were happening with me earlier this year. And unfortunately, both of those came at the exact same time. It was 10 days apart where these things happened, and it pretty much wiped out any chance that I had to make content creation for at least a couple of months. And I thought I was going to be able to get away with it because this all happened in February. And I was like, it's the off season. You know, we just talked about Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah being hired by the Vikings, what the direction of the team was going to be. I had a couple of months until the draft, so I thought, okay, I can disappear for a little while, maybe pop in a video here or there, and it just did not happen. And it just kept on not happening because things have changed so dramatically. So what have been those life changes? Well, they have not been bad things. I know a lot of people, I think, were worried about some kind of like illness or something else that just went wrong because I wasn't posting regularly. I went from basically posting a video every day to none at all. And that's a dramatic shift. So I can understand where those thoughts would come from. And I can relate to that. So, but anyway, we welcomed a new member to our family this year. In February, he is now 8 months old. I am a first-time father. So that has been a huge adjustment, but it has been one of the greatest additions to our family, and one of the best things to happen in my life is to be a first-time dad. And I highly recommend anybody that's on the fence. Is just it's awesome. It's just the greatest thing in the world. He's happy, healthy, and everybody is doing great. But that has, of course, been a huge adjustment, so that has taken up a lot of my time. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where he's more self-sufficient and self-sustained and able to keep himself entertained, where I can do things like this, where he is in the background, minding his own business, enjoying his toys and, YouTube videos of his own, and I'm able to make content creation. You'll probably hear him in the background playing with rattles, or maybe even he might chime in here or two to introduce himself, if you will. So if you hear that in the background, that's what that is. Life change number 2 was I got a different job this year, much more responsibility, much more intensity, much more chaos, and all of those can be just capital letters all around, full caps lock when I say all those things about this new job. It has been harder than anticipated, more time consuming than anticipated. I am working a lot. I don't have what you would call a healthy work-life balance right now. So that has unfortunately thrown a wrench in the plans. And these past 2 months have been the hardest, but there is hope. It can't get any worse than it is right now. And if it sounds like, maybe I made a mistake in taking on this job, no, I don't think so. It's been a little bit more than anticipated. I have been on top of that, basically pulling about anywhere from 45 to 50 hours a week. And then I come home. Full-time job number 2 is being dad of the year and taking care of a newborn. So there's a lot on the plate right now. And unfortunately, when you come home at the end of the day or you have a day off, you don't want to set up a camera and figure out what you're going to talk about and then edit a video and upload it to YouTube, because that is just, it's labor intensive. I don't want to make it sound like it's easy, because it's not. There's a certain standard that I hope to reach with these videos. And I'm kind of taking some liberties with this one and not caring too much about those standards, as you probably can tell. But, for me, YouTube should be, you should have some consistencies and some standards when you do uploads to keep, audience retention, if that's the goal. And I hope to achieve that somewhere down the line. Now, so warning, this isn't me saying I'm back. Unfortunately, I don't think I can commit the amount of energy and time into YouTube videos that I would like at this juncture. I think at the beginning of next year, I'll be able to go back to full-time once we get into the next off season. So unfortunately for right now, you're going to have to follow me on different social medias. So follow me on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. I have a TikTok account now, as does everyone, where I post some video game clips, and I'm talking about the Minnesota Vikings, football in general. I got some baseball stuff in there. There's a little bit for everything. It's more grab bag, but it's going forward, I think, is where I'll be able to do more Vikings focused centrist things. And the reason for that is to use that platform is because it's quick. It's anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 minutes long for those videos, and you can do those really fast. You can make those in about 15 minutes for just basic stuff that I would want to do. And then, of course, follow me on Twitter at awhile. If you don't already, I think some of you do who are already here. So, and then the TikTok handle is Skolday, S-K-O-L-D-A-Y. Pretty simple. So that's where you can find me, where I will post regularly, like daily, if you will. Twitter, the most accessible of the bunch, because Twitter is just posting text. You're not actually making videos. So that's where you can find me going forward. So that is pretty much the gist of where I've been, what we're doing, and what's going forward. But I am going to come back eventually to this platform and do regular content, because it's always been the fan interaction that has been my goal with this. It's not just to sit here and listen to myself talk. It's getting perspective and opinions and questions from you, the audience, that I get to react to, that has been the most enjoyable part of this, and it's the only reason that I still want to do it. I don't want to do this just because I hope to one day garner some, unachievable attention about my takes that everybody already posts. Like, it's a very what's the word for it, saturated market when it comes to sports commentary and content. So it's really just about interacting with people who leave comments and doing those kind of videos. My favorite video to make has always been the day after a Vikings game, where we get to talk about our reactions to the game itself, and you guys have all these questions that I get to answer. That's been the most entertaining part for me, and I hope for you as well, is to be a part of that, because it's a community thing. It's a group collaborative project is what I've always called it. So it's a long-winded version of just saying this isn't about me. This is just about connecting with other fans who have similar interests. So that is my speech on that. So just real quick here to wrap up as we approach the 10-minute mark of this video, is that the Viking season is going super well, a lot better than I had originally thought. And I have to give mad bullshit props to Kevin O'Connell for the things that he is doing. And there's aspects of the team right now that we've gone back and forth with, but I think the offense in general has to do a better job of being more high-powered. We should be more high-powered, giving the roster and giving the opponents that we've faced. The defense, I think the bend but don't break strategy has worked up until this point, but you're only going to be able to bend so much with some of the opponents that we have on the horizon, meaning Buffalo, Dallas. I think Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay is going to be looking for some revenge. There's a rumor that they could be interested in trading for Chase Claypool before the deadline. They're going to look for ways to improve that wide receiver core that has been suspect and disappointing so far this season. For the most part, I think the Vikings are destined for the playoffs this year. They're 5-1. The NFC North is theirs for the taking. They're already 3-0 in the division. Who in the NFC is going to stop them, other than the Philadelphia Eagles, who punched them in the mouth on Monday Night Football? But the Philadelphia Eagles look great. They haven't lost a game, so I can't really fault them for that loss in hindsight. There's a lot of other teams out there that look pretty good. The Giants are a surprise, 5-1. I think with Dak Prescott coming back to the Cowboys, that they're going to be a formidable opponent. 49ers just traded for Christian McCaffrey, and I'm going to do a TikTok video on that to talk about how I think that trade is a massive L for San Francisco, giving up all of that draft capital for running backs. And if you don't know me, I am a running backs don't matter type of person. I am in that cult where, just spending any kind of significant draft capital or a huge contract on a running back is just, I don't know why you continue to do that in 2022, the year of our Lord, where the passing game is all that it is meant to be, with all these dynamic wide receivers that we have in this league. So that's my quick take on the Minnesota Vikings. Destined for the playoffs, I think, whether we win the division or we get the first wild card, I think is where we're going. But as of right now, I think as long as we don't stumble in the second half of the season, we're going to lock up the NFC North probably before the Green Bay game when we get to that at the end of the season in Lambeau Field. So let me know what you guys think. Again, sorry for the long unintended hiatus. I hope that this isn't something that is going to continue, but for right now, content creation has taken a back seat to the other things going on, and I hope you can understand that. So, but as I've said before, I do hope to get back, maybe not on a daily basis, but at least in a basis where we can have the discussions that we had in the past that made doing this enjoyable and fun. And, you know, nothing bad has happened. I understand people had, you know, thoughts that or concerns that something had gone wrong, but we're good. We're good so far. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. That's going to do it for me. I will see you in the next one, hopefully soon.